Good evening. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in to tonight's live broadcast. Sexy Grandma, good evening to you. Uh, is it Ava Collier? Good evening to you. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. Karen Porter, my best friend. Always good to see you. Lisa Robinson, good evening to you. Miss Miller, good evening to you as well. I know you all have never seen this desk filled with papers. It's usually pretty clear, so I can get to things. Miss Morrison, good evening to you. Hot Pink, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you, big time. Is that Paradise? Good evening to you. Welcome. Miss Chapman, Tracy Taylor, good evening to you. It was on this day, 2019, at approximately 7:54 a.m. when 4-year-old Malia Lynn Davis was last seen alive on surveillance video in the apartments where she lived with her mother and, at that time, her stepfather. 4-year-old Maleah Lynn Davis walked into the apartment. Little did she know she would never ever walk out of that apartment alive again. Tonight is the 1 year anniversary of when we first heard her name and when she was last seen alive. That is our big story for the night. We're going to take a look back at the timeline events that led up to a 4-year-old girl being murdered in Houston, Texas. And today, no one has still been directly charged with homicide concerning 4-year-old Maleah Lynn Davis. I don't care whenever we bring up the name Maleah Lynn Davis, it gets a lot of people attention. So many of you are commenting for the past 24 hours on the death of Maleah on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and we thank you for that. And for the most part, I don't understand why 99.9% of the world know Brittany Bowens killed her own daughter, with the exception of the Houston Police Department. Maybe tonight we'll figure it out, try to come close to it anyway. So again, that's the big story for tonight. But before we get to Maleah Lynn Davis' story, just a little story I was going to catch you up on. There is a funeral home in New York, and businesses had been complaining about a foul odor. So it got unbearable. So they called the police. Police arrived. Good evening, J-Rob. Thank you. Glad to see you. Abby, good evening to you. Candace Rice, good evening. Travel the world. How you doing? Barbara, good evening to you. And Miss Hampton, good evening to you. And Tiffany Smith. Okay. When agencies arrived at the funeral home in New York, I think it was 2 or 3 U-Haul trucks out front. Inside of each truck were dead bodies. Most of them were stacked on top of one another. Body fluids were running out. All those that could not fit in the truck were on the floor inside of the funeral home. Again, stacked up against one another. Some people were being told that in about 2 or 3 weeks, or however long that the loved one had been there, that they would have a funeral. For the most part, They didn't. Uh, some of the businesses in that district said they kind of sort of knew what was going on, but they didn't know the extent of how serious it was until law enforcement showed up and everything came out in the open. I find that pathetic, diabolical, totally disrespect for the dead and those who are left behind to mourn their death. It's all about the almighty dollar. I don't know how you can live with yourself. You're just putting bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies. It's bad enough with dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, but you make it worse by disrespecting the dead. That's just horrible. That's just horrible. Any excuse that is given for that is an inexcusable excuse. I mean, you have bodies on top of bodies. Some of the businesses in the area said they would see them sometimes, moving the bodies back and forwards, and sometimes they wouldn't have on any protective gear. And so we know what that means. Barbara Whiten, I pray. Hopefully we can shed some light tonight on the Maleah Davis case. Also, a governor is in, I think it's Georgia, is in some hot water because of the number of people, Black, that has been infected with the coronavirus and have died after statistics came out that the majority of the people that had the coronavirus were Black. So they lashed out on the governor and used the word genocide. Now, I understand that. But if you want to use the word genocide for anyone, I think Donald Trump is a prime candidate for that. That's genocide, what he's doing. The moment we were told, if that be true, that more Blacks are being infected with the coronavirus than any other race, let's open the states back up. Because they don't give a fuck about you. Don't give a fuck about me. It's just killing the niggas. Oh, we can open up at night then. Yeah, go ahead. It's 2020, and Blacks are still being disrespected in 2020. Donald Trump incites riots everywhere you go. Donald Trump knew what was about to happen. We all did. And he chose to do nothing. He chose to do nothing. So I think genocide fits Donald Trump better. That's just my opinion. We can't get a break for nothing. Sometimes I don't know if the reports are true. During Thanksgiving or Christmas, you see them out there feeding the homeless or those who are less fortunate, and you're always going to see a whole line of Blacks. You may see one or two whites. When we're giving out toys for Christmas, I see nothing but Black kids. So what that says to me is that everything in white neighborhoods are okay. Y'all don't want for shit. There's no hunger issues over there. Nobody's homeless over there. Your kids don't need any toys. This picture has been painted for us for centuries. And sometimes I wonder if it's true. And I know it's not. They're going to give you the story that they want you to see that will depress you and keep you down. And it's been that way since the beginning of time. Tina, good evening to you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. There is T House is in the house this evening. Good evening, House. Thank you so much for tuning in. And so, all hell is breaking loose. What is in Michigan? They're running up in the House of Representatives with their guns and stuff, and they got rifles. And I mean, it's every goddamn white man in there had a goddamn gun. But the state police was there to protect the governor, and it blocked them from going any further in the building than they were. Now, y'all may not believe this. If that had been a bunch of blacks, CNN would still be doing breaking news. We find now that 6 more blacks died that was shot. How many more that? 20 more? Yeah, that was shot. Not one white man was arrested. Not one. Not one. Not one. They still, even in the midst of their wrong, their shenanigans, they still are treated with respect and dignity. Negroes had, before the first Negro could get his fucking foot on a step, kill that nigger! They killed him. This protest against the stay-at-home order, I don't believe it. There's a bigger picture here. Something else is going on. Something else is about to happen. You watch the play. The majority of those protesting to die are white. They're white people. They're protesting to die with guns because it's their right to bear arms. Okay, whatever. Stores are running out of guns and ammunition. Why? White folks stocking up. Negroes ain't doing the goddamn thing. Them little goddamn Uzis, 38s, 45s, or Glocks or whatever. It's like giving a whale a tic-tac when you're going up against a goddamn tank. White folks know what's going to happen. White folks are having secret meetings on your ass. And dining, party, enjoying yourself, living your best life. White folks are getting ready to control your ass again. At that time, he was Vice President Joe Biden. When he spoke to the NAACP, I'll never forget what he said. He said, they want to put y'all back in chains. They want y'all to go back 400 years. And he didn't lie. He didn't lie. He spoke the gospel. And they're still trying to do this to this day. Blacks, we got to get our priorities in order. Because the shit's about to get bad. It's about to get bad. When I saw that with all them goddamn rednecks, I'm like, so, I mean, I didn't see cops throwing them on the goddamn ground and stuff and stop resisting! Stop resisting! Pop, pop! I thought he had a gun. It was a cell phone. They didn't do that. All right, y'all can stay here. Just be quiet. Okay, they're having a meeting upstairs. And didn't go. And these white men all up in the law's face. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! They do nothing. They do nothing. Francis Wilmore from Houston, Texas. I'm so glad you're in tonight. Welcome. We're down here by ourselves, people. We're down here by ourselves. And if we don't look out for one another, nobody will. They're getting prepared for something you know not of. But there have been so many warning signs. Get your shit together. These white folks ain't playing. Something is about to happen. Could go further, but we have a lot to cover tonight. And I'm also blessed to have someone on the line with me. She's been on the show with me, I think, 4 times. She's in Houston, Texas. She knows more about what's going on in certain areas than I do. So I have invited her to once again come back on the show tonight. This was going to be a 2-hour show, but we didn't get a chance to get everything together and get those in place that would be on the show with us tonight. So we're still going to do it. Maybe within the next couple of weeks or so, we'll get everybody straight, and then we'll bring it to you. It's going to be filled with a lot of information that you may have forgotten about, or you may not have ever heard of, to try to shed some light on the little girl who, even in death, she is being neglected. And I made a promise to Maleah Davis, and that promise was simple: that as long as I live, your story will never die. As long as I live, I will seek until I take my last breath to get justice for you. I haven't stopped yet. I'm not gonna stop until we get it. The show must go on. The promise was made to nobody but Maleah Davis. And all those that are against me speaking on it, I don't give a fuck. You can't do nothing. You can't do nothing. If I wasn't on the fucking money, you wouldn't care what the fuck I said. Because I'm talking and saying something close to nothing. So if I'm saying that and I'm wrong, or damn near wrong in everything I'm saying, I'm not a factor to you. You wouldn't be disturbed by me opening my mouth. But you're disturbed because I'm at your doorsteps. There is no statute of limitations on murder. It's just not. Just thought I'd put that out there, Brittany Barnes. According to FBI statistics, T House, love you big time. Thank you so much. Gratefully appreciated. Individuals who passed away. Amen. T House says all the individuals who passed away due to the coronavirus here in New York began placed in the refrigerator. Okay. Extremely bad. That I watched the video again before we came on air, and it's ridiculous. I mean, I just don't believe a funeral home would do that. I just can't believe it. But they did. They did. They rented the U-Hauls and had them loaded from top to bottom. Okay, according to FBI stats, each year in the United States, at least 450 children die at the hands of their parents. At the hands of their parents. Children face the highest risk of homicide by parents or someone they know. Child homicide is the most extreme form of violence against a child. More than 200 women kill their children in the United States each year. Three to 5 children a day are killed by their parents. For children under the age of 4, homicide is the leading cause of death. The leading cause of death. You've heard me say this time and time again. Parents should be the one teaching their children about stranger danger. Mary Rose, you are indeed welcome. I'm going to keep my promise to Maleah. I promise you that. And thank you so much. If you get to a point to where you don't like your child, or you never wanted your child, or you're having some kind of mental breakdown, psychological breakdown, and the child is underway, is in the way, here's what I would do. I'd try to call a relative and say, I can't do this right now. I got a lot going on. I can't deal with him. I can't deal with her right now. Take her. Or if I just didn't give it to him, I'd take her to the fire station, the police station, the hospital, and just drive home. The thought of my child being such a burden to me that I would kill her or him. It's just unbelievable. The stranger danger is in the house with the child. The stranger danger. Sometimes we think because we haven't been arrested that we're not looked at as a suspect. We're looked at as a victim. And police do it all the time. They know you're guilty, but they treat you like a victim rather than a suspect because they know you're gonna mess up. Travel the world. Have you went to Houston yet? We went to Houston twice. Once we spent the night, and one time we came back later on that night. But the young lady that's on the line with me tonight, her and I was talking about that earlier, and so we will be we'll be doing it again. We just got to figure out what date we're coming. Um, so we'll keep you up to date on our trip to Houston, Texas. I was at my desk where I'm at most of the time when an email popped up. Tiffany Hall says her mother knows what happened. I promise you, she do. You are so right. And it said an Amber Alert had been issued for a 4-year-old girl in Houston, Texas, who possibly had been kidnapped by 3 Hispanic males in a blue pickup truck. Okay. We took it, we read it, and we sent it out. And that's it. And that's it. And we're done. 3 minutes later, here come another one and another one. It's not unusual. But when I began to take a closer look at what was going on, for some reason after that, I couldn't put it down. I stopped what I was doing. And then we got to making calls. When we found out some of the things that had been said or done prior to the child allegedly being kidnapped, they were very disturbing. Nothing is really making any sense that a 4-year-old girl had been kidnapped by 3 Hispanic males. You and I now know that was a damn lie. We know that. We know that. So we don't have to go no further with that. We know he lied on that either. But Jazz is on the phone and she's going to break down the distance between where they lived, where Brittany lived, where the airport was, and the walk that Derion Vence said he took to get to Sugar Land Hospital. If I remember correctly, he said it took him about 4 hours. Nobody would pick him up, but to God be the glory, eventually somebody picked him up. And that individual just so happened to have a car identical to the car that Brittany Barnes had recently purchased. It was a silver Nissan Altima. What are the chances of that? Before we get to her death, we want to look at the timelines that led up to Maleah Davis' death. I believe if someone had paid attention or had a genuine concern for a child, regardless of race, a color, or whatever the case may be, that Maleah would probably be alive today and I wouldn't know her name. If the child had been protected, but she wasn't. Maleah, along with her brothers, according to court documents, here's what it says. Child Protection Services received a report of allegations of physical abuse in August after Malia Davis suffered a head injury. After the investigation, Maleah and her brothers were removed from the home and placed with relatives. Court documents also say both Brittany Bowens and Craig Davis, both Brittany Bowens and Craig Davis engaged in a history or pattern of child abuse and child neglect. August the 3rd, 2018, Maleah was taken to the local hospital for a head injury. After examination, doctors determined that Maleah had a previous head injury that had not been reported. The way Brittany Bowen said things happened to Maleah to receive those injuries were inconsistent with the injuries. However, the doctor still could not determine how the injuries had happened to Maleah Lynn Davis. Fix her up, send her home. One time she had to go back. They had to cut half the skull out to reduce the swelling. There was 101 signs that something is wrong. Something is not adding up. This story quickly went national. Quickly. I don't know what it was about Maleah, because kids get killed every day, kidnapped every day, done wrong every day, and it's sad. But this little girl stopped the world and made the world pay attention. And I think this might sound ugly. I've said this before. I'm glad Maleah's in heaven, simply because the tortured life is over with. The way she was treated she would never ever be done that way again. I would have loved for her to still be on planet Earth. But after we learned this and we learned that, I'm like, thank God. And I believe Maleah was killed on April 30th, sometime after 8 a.m. She was killed in the apartment where she lived. She was killed. When you think about a child being beaten, tortured, usually just like adults, they ball up into a fetal position. And I often wondered why everybody do it. Black, white, male, female, we all do it, young or old. We ball up into a fetal position. This is not science, it's just the way I see it. It's not a fact, it's my opinion. I'm not trying to pass this off as a fact, just my opinion. I believe when we do that, in our own way, we're trying to crawl back up inside of our mother's womb where we once felt love and protection. That's what I believe. But I believe the last day, Maleah was being tortured. And she may have been trying to resist. But God looked down and he said, Maleah, Maleah, leave it alone, don't resist. And he took her. You won't have to endure this anymore. And God being God, when God got tired, Maleah got rest. When God got tired, Maleah got rest. And now, when we fight for justice for Maleah Lynn Davis, we don't just fight for her. We fight for all children in the world. We must be the voice of those that are voiceless, and we must expose those that are doing the children wrong. Jazz, good evening. Again, I thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight to discuss the Maleah Lynn Davis case. I do.
No problem.
Um, I don't really know where to begin, other than we do know that CPS was contacted because of some things that was going wrong in the home. Uh, Whatever went terribly wrong happened on April 30th. Now,
It was prior to that.
it was prior to that. What you got?
When she first, the first incident was when she fell and hit her head, and they had to remove half of her skull. And she was supposedly under the watch of the father and I'm trying to be polite and Christian, like the guinea pig and the sperm donor. She was supposed to be under their watch, and they said that she fell and she hit her head at the edge of a table. She fell and she hit her head on this, and she hit like 4 different stories. But if she was at a table and she fell and hit her head, why would you call your mother and ask her what to do? Bitch, take her to the hospital. That would be the obvious thing to do, because anybody knows, whether you're a child or you're an adult, if you hit your head, that's where your brain is. I mean, not everybody have a brain, but the ones that do, they would know to go to the hospital, because you don't know if you have bleeding on the brain or what. But in Maleah's case, they had to remove half of her cranium. So you call your mother and say, oh, she fell, she hit her head, what should I do? So that means you didn't have the common sense that God gave you was to say, let's go to the hospital. You don't know the extent of her injuries. Then you say, oh, they had to remove half of her brain. But it wasn't your fault. But whose fault was it? The ghost? So CPS removed the kids. CPS gave the kids to the family members. So y'all went back to court, and they were in a process of giving y'all back the kids, and then something else happened, and the kids were supposedly removed again. My whole thing is, the whole CPS department is full of shit, because it is no way possible this baby should have returned to their hair hole. She would still be alive.
I totally agree with that. I do believe. Well, not only believe, know for a fact that there were many people that failed Maleah. CPS for one, Judge Lopez, both sides of the family, and people in the neighborhood. The injuries that
and the person that's claimed she was the caring, oh my God, loving, concerned. What was she supposed to be, the godmother? She was the godmother of the year. But then when Maleah passed away at an untimely death, you started blaming it on this one, that one, and this one. But where were you? If you're a godmother, then you should take some type of blame, because I'm quite sure as the big bird was telling everybody different stories, somebody should have been comparing notes and saying that, hey, this is what she told me. She told me that they were eating table. Craig got mad, Byron got mad, and punched their ass off the chair. I tried to defend her. I got her slapped upside the head. Well, she pissed me off, and I flipped her ass off the chair. Well, she told me something different, so what did she tell you? So all of a sudden, nobody know what happened, but the fact that the baby has to have her skull removed.
When last year for her birthday, Maleah, they threw her a party and they videoed it. She was in the arms of Derion Vence, her then stepfather. Now, if a child is being wronged, hurt, or violated physically, emotionally, sexually, whether they can verbally say it or not, they, you know, they let off some negative signs when a certain individual comes around. Each video of her and Derion Vence were wonderful. They was enjoying life together. Uh, they was in the car singing. I do not believe that Derion Vence molested Maleah as Brittany Bowens so said. I just don't believe that. But my big problem right now is that why isn't Brittany Bowens, Craig Davis, and others being re-interviewed, but this time by different investigators because somebody missed something? There is no way on God's green earth that Brittany Bowens should be walking among the free, those that are in society. There's no way. There was an open investigation of child abuse and child neglect. But Maleah caught the worst of it every time. Maleah caught the worst of it every time. Brittany must be re-interviewed by different detectives. I don't think she cared about Maleah at all. In one of her first interviews, here's what she said. And then we're going to talk about Malcolm X with the toupee, what he said. Brittany Bowen said, I don't want to do any questions right now. I just want to let everybody know about the flyer. Is that okay? She didn't report ask her her name. She gives it, and then she spells it out. She then said, I just want to find Maleah. I just want to find Maleah. She drops her head and began to do that shaking shit like she on dope, going from left to right, right to left. Here's what's troubling about that. A mother, a good mother, she wouldn't have said her daughter's name. She'd have said, my baby, my baby, my baby. But she never did. She never did. Not only did she not do that, Brittany Bowens did not tell the media I think as far back as 2 weeks before she this all came about. I think she didn't say that, and since she didn't say that, she did not tell us that Malia Davis needed medication, which will sometimes make you put fire on your ass and move faster to try to find the child. Her Brenda Bowens had to come to the mic, the grandmother, and tell us about Maleah needing her medication. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find that strange?
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm also trying to figure. I find that kind of strange because she also didn't speak anything about her supposed to having to wear the little helmet to protect her head.
Exactly. When even April 30th when we saw her, she didn't have a helmet on. I think a good mother would make sure that child have a helmet on inside and outside. But as I always said, I want us to pay, and a lot of what I'm gonna say tonight you didn't heard before, but we're gonna try to give you a little more insight to some things you may not have heard. A mother would have made sure that her child had that helmet on inside and outside of the apartments because that's her baby. That's her baby. Somebody says we can't hear her. You the caller? Okay, Jazz.
Yes.
They're saying they can't hear you, so you may have to turn your volume up or something. They're having a problem hearing you. Okay. And not only that, on
When
eight.
she says she can't hear me now, I'm muffled, so I'm confused as to myself.
Well, yeah, it's a couple of people said that it's a muffled sound that they're getting. Spitting Fire's in the house. Good evening, Spitting Fire. Uh, okay. Um, for the sake of time, I want us to discuss Malcolm X with the toupee because Malcolm X said something uh, that was disturbing, very disturbing, and I'm gonna ask you about it, and maybe somebody here doing the live feed remember it or would like to chime in on it. Uh, I think this was done on June the 4th, I think. Malcolm X with the toupee was given an interview to HLN's Lynn Smith. And here's what the community activist said pertaining to Brittany Bowen's knowing what happened to her daughter before and after. When he was asked, do you think Brittany Bowens will be arrested in connection with the death of her daughter? Here's what he said. Brittany Bowens will face charges because she knows more than what she's saying. I know, this is Malcolm X with the toothpaste. I know for a fact that she confessed to me. She helped cover up physical abuse of Maleah in the home. He went on to say, there are also other people that must be charged. They have to be charged because they know some things too. That's what Malcolm X with the toothpaste said. Now watch this now, Jazz. Listen. He says that Brittany says that she covered up physical abuse of Maleah in the home. So you were in court dockets as her mother and the abuser. But you're also saying that you were covering up uh, abuse that Derion Vence allegedly was doing to your daughter. I mean, who does that?
It's a lot of things that she said to Malcolm X with the two things that didn't sit right. When she said that I saw him because he said accusations that I never said. Well, what was the accusations that he said that you didn't say? About him molesting the baby, and you never confirmed it, or you never denied it to the public? About you being there when everything took place and you didn't defend her? Mm-hmm. Or was it the part where you was molesting your own child and you just didn't want to take the rap? Mm-hmm. So you blamed it on Derion.
Exactly. So I'm wondering because
I also know that she picked the right guy because I believe honestly she knew Derion was mentally challenged, and she just had to get her plot together. And when she got it together, he just was the gopher, and the gopher is he just wants for anything she said. And if you love me, then you will do this. If you love me, you will do that. So to prove his love, he went along with everything. But what he is not comprehending is the statute of limitations on murder is non-existent for one. Here in the state of Texas, of the United States of America, there is no statute of limitation. For two, he is looking at up to 20 years, depending on what the DA can make stick to him, mm-hmm. for the tampering with the court. The third thing is, if they find him to be incompetent to stand trial, the most he can get, which is still a hell of a long time, is life, without the possibility of probation and parole. Or two, if they think he don't have a chance in here to say, hey, nothing's wrong with him, we're going to give his ass the back, mm-hmm. he can get life, and he can get the death penalty. So you're going to sit in prison and rock and shell behind somebody that's out here
Exactly.
You
Deborah.
have to make this memory.
Right, Deborah Dickinson. Thank you so much. I gratefully appreciate you. Let me throw something out right quick. This is the child's grandmother. Court documents. Here's what she says. Brenda Bowen stated that she was in New Orleans this past weekend on, I think, on Saturday, July 29, 2018. Brittany Bowens, the mother of Malia Davis, contacted Brenda Bowens, the grandmother, and stated that Malia Davis had fallen on the floor from a tall chair to a marble table. Brittany Bowens stated that Malia was fine. The grandmother, Brenda Bowens, advised her daughter, Brittany Bowens, to take Malia to the hospital to be checked out. Brenda Bowens took Malia to West Houston Memorial. Malia was observed with a laceration to her forehead. She was stitched up and she was sent home. Brenda Bowens, the grandmother, arrived home Sunday, but wasn't feeling well on Monday and Tuesday and didn't go to work. So the grandmother had Malia over her house. And she said, when she was at home with me, she was fine. She was fine. When she went back to Brittany, things went wrong. Basically, she goes a little deep to say that whenever she's with me, she's fine. But when she goes with her mother, things begin to go wrong. And Brittany calls the mother, what you think I should do? She bleeding from the head. Oh, I don't fucking know. Call a goddamn paramedics to come and see about. She's your daughter. I look at all these as stall tactics to where Brittany was also trying to get a strong alibi with her mother that when I called and asked her what to do if the shit went bad. I don't think you have to call anybody when the child is hurt themselves. Take the child to the doctor. I mean, it don't make any earthly damn sense that every time something happened to Malia, that she had to call, that Brittany had to call her mother and ask her what to do. And the mother's response would be always the same. Take the child to the hospital. It's as simple as that. Just take the child to the hospital. Why are you calling me? Now, when Derion Vence showed up at Sugarland Methodist Hospital. Did I get it right,
No,
Jack?
you forgot. No, you forgot. The date of all of this occurred, she was supposedly working at the post office. You remember? They gave him an alibi of him receiving a phone call at work saying he needed to come home because it was a family emergency.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So once he get home, everything from him having a job goes completely out of the window, and now he's a suspect. So if he was at work and she was supposed to be in California, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Burbank, Africa, wherever the fuck she was supposed to be, who was watching the kids? Because he couldn't be at work and watching the kids on the same damn shift.
That's it.
If his shift at the post office was from 7 to 4, who was watching Malia and the baby from 7 to 4? It had to be Brittany.
Exactly.
So he gets a phone call to come home. All of a sudden, the whole shit just twisted and turned on him. But instead of him still say something, or if they supposedly checked his alibi, why is he sitting in jail and she's not sitting in jail because y'all claim that y'all checked her? She's not sitting in jail because y'all claim that y'all checked her airline tickets and she did have tickets. So that means I can go buy tickets for next year, and because of the coronavirus, I can't fly and say somebody get killed next year. Oh, here go my tickets. I didn't even go nowhere, but I still have the tickets. That's my alibi.
Exactly. Someone photoshopped a picture of Brittany one day, and it's somewhere on our Justice page. I'm gonna say it must have been a 747 plane, I guess. But here's what was super stupid about the picture. Brittany Bowens is the only passenger on this 747 Her big fat ass is sitting on a 747 by herself. No, all other seats are empty. Now that makes no goddamn sense. It makes no earthly damn sense whatsoever. I cannot believe that Derion Vence was hurting Maleah in any way. You said that you covered up for him. Now I know some women might sit there and take verbal and physical abuse themselves from their man, but when it gets to the point to when you
I know someone personally that the father of her, that was she still with her children's father, he beats the kids and he beats her. But because she tries to say something about him when he gets upset and he beats the kids, he beats her. So some women or some men do instill that fear in these women to where some women don't say nothing. But I feel Brittany downplayed the whole situation for one. Look at her. She's 10'5", 5'5". So I'm not saying that she was stronger than him by any means necessary, but what I'm saying is she was well educated as far as in the medical field because she had several books of anatomy and biology and stuff, how to get away with a lot of stuff. She was also selling her books. So she read up on a lot of things that he may not have known about. That's why I said he was the gopher. Whatever she told him, he just went for it. I need you to show me that you love me. What you're going to do is I'm going to say that you molested Malia and you're going to go for it. And okay, he did because I'm going to prove to you how much I love you.
Wow. I mean, makes perfect sense to me.
So some women are afraid because if that guy is beating their kids and she jumps in to say like, hey, you're going too far, then what's the repercussions for her? Either he's gonna beat her till she's beyond recognition, or he's gonna damn near kill her.
Okay.
And the kids are gonna be still without a mother.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Let's put all other women aside. Do you think this was the case with Brittany Bowens, that she was afraid of Derion Vence? He was beating her and the child, and that's why she didn't say anything?
Hell no. He's behind the scenes through them punchlines. And Ray Jones.
Yeah,
I think what it is, by him being mentally challenged, like in the black world, like the doctors say, mentally retarded, she used that to her advantage. She didn't just go like men go to the club and they be like, damn, she's fine, let me buy her a drink and get to know her. She had already peeped game. She sat back and she watched him. She knew he was not all of the way, his little light wasn't all the way bright upstairs. She picked him.
Right.
And when she picked him, she engaged in a relationship. She wouldn't expect that relationship to perhaps maybe go as far as it did, as far as her having a child with him. She probably was just trying to use him and throw his ass away. But she got a baby. Now she loves him and all this extra shit. At the end of the day, I still feel that he did not molest this child. And he just taking the rap for the whole thing because of love. But he's also, he may love Brittany and she don't love him. But because he's so blind to see that, and he has other people, it could be his daddy, it could be his brother, his mama, his sister, his dog, anybody. He's covering up. He's not just covering up for him. There's other people in his family that he is covering for. And if he opened his mouth, everybody and their mama gonna get nailed to the cross.
Yeah, Queen.
His timeline already is not adding up.
Right. Queen, in answering to the question as well, said, hell no, she don't believe that was Brittany. I do believe that there's some reasons, partially a lot of what you just said, as to why Derion Vence would not open his mouth. I believe some people got involved in what happened to Malia Davis after the fact. And so when they waited when they didn't say anything and then they realized the clock was still ticking, well, I'm not going to say it. anything. Now, I'm just going to be quiet, but I wonder why, if Malcolm X with the toupee was being honest, because I do believe he plays both sides, but if he was being honest about what Brittany told him, and he said he had proof. Now, proof to me is he recorded what she said, or she had wrote a statement out saying blase blase. But I've already given it to the DA. This is what he said in the interview, and so I look for her to be arrested. Well, we now know that Brittany Bowens was arrested. So, what do you make of that? Do you think Malcolm X was lying, or maybe he told him and they didn't feel there's enough evidence, or what?
I think she told him bits and pieces. She may have told him little bitty details, minor details from what she wanted to let him know. I don't think she told him the exact truth, because if he would have had evidence as he stated he had, it was no way on God's green earth she would still be walking this earth. Derion is just by his side.
Miss Lady says we don't hear from him anymore, referring to Malcolm X the toupee. Exactly. I can't put too much weight as far as truth is concerned when he speaks, because he is a habitual liar. We do know that, and I do believe he was playing both sides. I don't think, as you just said, I don't think Brittany Bowens would confess anything to Malcolm X with the toupee or any damn body. You really just have to get her X with the toupee or any damn body. You really just have to get her.
Mr. Bowens, I don't think he's covering up for his mother. I honestly believe he is covering up for his father and his brother, because, mind you, Miss Melissa Bourne, when CPS first got involved, they automatically gave his mother the children.
Okay, we've lost Miss Jazz. Hopefully she will call back in. Helen, good evening. She says holiday 30th April. So I'm like, well, there's no way that you can let her walk away, because she's already up on an investigation from CPS for harming her own child. And now she tells us that somebody else was harming her child. She knew about it, and she did not say anything. I just don't know why she would kill her child. I couldn't give you an answer for that. But sometimes it's hard to get people to believe that this person did something if you can't give them a reason as to why you think they did it.
I don't think, Mr. Scott, that the mother, honestly, this is, my gut could be wrong, but I don't think that the mother knew, because of the simple fact when CPS got involved the first time, they took everyone and gave them to Derion's mother.
No. I'm not talking about the mother. I'm talking about Brittany.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, because somebody named Melissa Boyes made the comment that he's covering up for the mother as well. No, it's not the mother. It's the father. I believe it's the father, the brother, and the brother's wife that knows that that's why he's covering up. I don't think it's his mother, because if she was covering up, why would CPS give her back her grandchild? And exactly what I'm saying, Queen Lady, is the father, the brother, and the brother's wife. I don't believe it's the mother, because it's no way possible CPS is going to remove the child and then turn around and give the child back to the mother. The mother is doing the safest thing for the baby right now anyways. It's the father. He know more than he's saying. It's the other son, Joe Jr., and Joe Jr.'s wife.
Here's what his wife. I believe that 1 billion %. But here's the thing. Now, I used to feel real bad for Derion Vence, and I do now to a degree, and then to a degree I don't, because if your super stupid ass won't sit there and bite that goddamn bullet for a piece of pussy that you'll never ever see again, smell again, then that shoe didn't go ahead and do it. Because they will put it in your ass. They will put that death in your life, or put you so far in the prison system that they're going to have to pump daylight to your ass, because you will die in prison. Now, he is protecting so many people, but they're not looking out for him because he don't have a paid lawyer. They should be doing something to try to help him out. I do know that Derion Vence has some wrong in this. He does, but it is not murder. It is not molestation, and it is not beating that child. I just don't believe he would do that. I just don't believe that Derion would do that.
Mr. Scott, question. You said the same thing that my heart is telling me. If he murdered her, why is he only being charged with tampering with the courts and seriously bodily injury?
Come on with it. Come on with it.
So if he's only being charged with those two charges, then we need HPD, and we need someone else to pick up. Melissa, no, sweetheart, you're missing the whole concept, darling. When CPS first got involved with her, when she first had the skull fracture, and they had to remove part of her skull, they gave Derion parents those 3 kids. They were in the process of getting, they had visitations and whatever, and they was in the process of getting the kids back when Malia came dead, missing, and then found dead in Hope, Arkansas. Nobody said that she had custody. The kids were in her custody, but they were not turned over from the state yet. They were supposed to go back to court in August of the following year. Malia was found dead a few months before they ended up going back to court, sweetheart. I am here in Houston. All you have to do is Google. Get on Google, baby. Everything in Harris County is public records. If you know their name, you can get into the court records. It's public records for anybody to know, baby. Nobody is saying something for attention or anything. This is a case that I have been following since last year, every day of the year of 2019 and thus far of 2020, Melissa. Baby, please do your research. This is not nothing to just make a fictitious lies about or just assume anything, sweetheart.
You know, this story.
And I'm not sure if you Brittany or you behind a fake name, and I honestly don't give a fuck. I said what I said, and I stand behind what I said. Whoever killed that baby, every bitch in their mama needs to rot in the fucking hell because this 4-year-old child did not fucking deserve this. She's 4. She won't get to go to prom. She won't have a baby. She won't have a boyfriend. She won't experience her first daddy-daughter dance. None of this shit, Melissa Bourne. So if you feeling some type of way or you trying to dispute what I'm saying, when we have facts, black and white, don't lie, sweetheart. I'm going to need you to go back and get your facts straight and then come back and present me with your paperwork, sweetheart, this evening.
Okay, a lot of people are, seriously upset with Brittany Bourne's. Rarely do I see anybody on my site saying anything positive about Brittany Bourne's cause we know she did. But knowing someone did something and proving it is 2 different things. We offered, when it first broke, Brittany Bourne to come on the show. And of course she said no. One time, she said yes.
She was going to come on the show.
Yeah, one time she said yes. But here's the thing. Someone sent an email or inboxes and said she wants you to send her some questions in advance. Well, we can kill that goddamn interview right there because that's not the way we rock. I'm not gonna give you a chance to get your life together. I also remember one time when I was speaking and they were all on the live feed up on another name. Brittany Bourne's inboxed me and said, "It's not what you know, it's what you can prove." My words to her was simple. That sound like a killer. That's some shit a fucking killer would say. This is not the perfect murder. This is not the perfect murder. But here's what I believe. I believe that the powers that be have sat down and said, fuck it. Because of who you know, who they screwing, blase, we're not going to do anything about it. So Malia is just gone. Her remains were found in Arkansas on the side of a road in a garbage bag as if she was nothing but trash. But the days that bother me is April 30th. Is when Malia was last seen alive. Brittany Bourne allegedly left that day to go bury her father. Now, we look at May 3rd. Brittany Flight comes in. April 30th and May 3rd. Just put them together and you figure it out. It's just not fucking adding up that Brittany Bowens is still a free woman and Maleah Lynn Davis is dead. And nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives. And the first thing you want to come and say, well, how you know? He ain't in Houston, Texas. I don't have to be in Houston, Texas to know what the fuck's going on. It don't take a whole lot of intellect to figure this goddamn shit out either. It just doesn't. So, I mean, we're not going to let you get back into that kumbaya moment and you can sit down and relax. We're not going to do that. We have to get justice for Malia Davis. We have to. This little girl caught everybody's attention in the world and all of us just stopped. Everything we were doing, we stopped for this little girl in Houston, Texas that many of us never met, never touched, didn't know she exists until the Amber Alert came out. So we don't have to be there to know something happened. It's no way on God's earth.
Mr. Scott, Brittany is in Houston and don't know what's happening. So you don't have to be in Houston to don't know what's going on because she's here and don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Craig is here and don't know what's going on. I mean, if the timeline has a lot of discrepancies, you know, hey, she left April 30th, supposedly. She came back. They said that she left the state via airplane and was set to return May 3rd. Who's to say she actually left? Who's to say she didn't leave? I'm just saying. But then they said on May 3rd, the defendant claimed he was with two children. They seen him in one. The other son was with the biological father. The stepdad refused to let the biological father in the house to check on the little girl, Maleah Davis, as we all love to know her. But at the end of the day, that door should have came off the hinges and he should have went over there railing. Why the fuck I can't see my child? I was not leaving without seeing my child. There was no way possible. But, you know, that's how he felt. He felt like maybe he felt he didn't have no win. So he left it there, you know, as it was.
Let me ask.
He walked with a 2-year-old baby. You walked all these miles. It's no way possible that you walked from 59 to Pearland for 7 hours. Well, you said 4, but it's actually 11 hours walking. So you could not walk there far with a 2-year-old child and not knowing someone was going to offer you a ride, whether it was to the nearest transit center to catch the bus as far as you can go, or take you to the nearest hospital. That just don't sit well with me.
Well, in the beginning, and I think I have the hours correct. I want you to help me figure this out. From where Brittany lived at the time, and where the airport was, and from I think it was interstate, was it Highway 59 that they finally let him out on, or was that the one he took?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now allegedly it took about 4 hours to walk from there to Sugarland Hospital. Okay, break it down for me and give me the distance between Brittany's place, the airport, and where Derion Vence said he had been released.
From 59 by the Bush Intercontinental Airport, in him, if he was walking, that was 11 hours. It was no way possible. He walked 11 hours with a 2-year-old child. If he was in a car, depending on traffic, this state at the most, he was looking at 30, 45 minutes, depending on traffic. Because traffic in Houston is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Really fucked up. But if he was at the most, he only still would have been walking 7 hours with a baby, opposed to 4 hours. So where's the 4 hours that he got from coming in? And then you walk in with a 2-year-old child. A 2-year-old child cannot keep up with you, so it was not going to be 4 hours. It was going to be longer than that.
Okay. Valerie Montgomery says that like I said, that baby was dead before she left, and I agree with you. I agree with you. Maleah was dead. Someone else said something about the case was closed from day one, and I do believe that because of what we later would find out about connections and different things. But it still is perplexing to me that this people are so quiet about this case, and not just quiet. It's like an eerie quietness about Malia Davis. Malia Davis is dead. Let us go on with life. But yes, we must go on with life, but we have to get to the bottom of it. Somebody has to be charged for killing a 4-year-old defenseless child. And if you have a problem with people trying to get justice for that, I just don't give a damn. I just don't know how your mind is fucking wired up. I wouldn't give a damn if I didn't like the sapsucker that was always speaking about it. Baby, if you can help, help. It's as simple as that. Because every day that Brittany stays free in society, any child come her way is in danger. Is in danger. And all those involved before and after must be dealt with. They have to be dealt with. We have to keep Maleah Lynn Davis' name out front. We have to do this here because if we don't, to all on this live feed and Miss Jazz, to all here tonight, if we don't keep it out there, you know what? We too become part of that circle that failed Maleah Lynn Davis, and we can't do that. We cannot do that. She only felt the blanket of love after she was murdered, when the world knew who she was. Now, you mean to tell me damn near 99.9% of the world know Brittany is guilty, but Houston PD don't? It doesn't make any damn sense. I want to now talk about the picture that the chief of police took with Brenda Bowens, Maleah Davis' grandmother. Now, in all honesty, there's nothing wrong with her taking a picture with the police chief. Nothing. People do it every day. I think what disturbed a lot of people was the closeness of them two in that picture. Have you seen it, Jazz?
They're a little too close for me.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that was taken on the day that it was it Maleah Lynn Davis there or something?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what I want to know. She's trying to go to court and say she's mother of the year again because she wants, and say she's mother of the year again because she wants Peyton and the KV, the little bitty baby.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want those kids and you didn't want Maleah? What is it about the boys that you want but you didn't want Maleah? What is it about Maleah that you just despised, that you hated in you, that you thought in Maleah? Because she was a very beautiful 4-year-old daughter. She was beautiful. Anybody that didn't have kids would have taken her. Anybody with kids would have taken her. For her to...
I agree with I believe Derion Vence said this and did this. Malcolm X was talking about it, and he said that he basically took care of the house, and Maleah began to get a speech together because of the time that he spent with her, that he was basically the sole provider. I've also heard his father said that, and from what we pulled up, I have no reason to doubt that, because I think, don't quote me on this, that Brittany had just gained a job, I think, but I do know that he was the breadwinner there, and Maleah loved Derion Vence. So that part.
It shows in all the videos, the picture. She was smiling from here to God knows where, from ear to ear. She was just so happy.
I know Melissa, she says, Melissa Barnes, none of this makes any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, she was always laughing and happy when she was around Vence, you know.
Are you serious? So he's going to live with him with access to the monster. Wow. Every time of you're a 2 for 1. Go ahead, Harris County, you're doing a great job. You might as well just go ahead and give the killer back over to her kids. Just sign them back over to her. You're giving the killer access to her child because he's gonna be living with her grandmother, with her mother, his grandmother. Wow, you're Harris County. Y'all are on the road. Keep it going. Everybody needs to write Kim All, the district attorney, the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, the Texas Rangers. Write them so they can investigate this case. This baby needs justice. This is a death that she did not deserve. If that was Brittany, we wouldn't give it to her. Y'all can sweep it under the rug. But
Exactly.
this is Malia Davis, a 4-year-old child that could not defend herself. If you punch her, she could not do nothing but ball up in a fetal position and cry due from the excruciating pain she just felt. This baby endured more shit than a grown up at her tender years of 4. We need everybody to write the mayor, write the DA, everybody we can write. Hell, I don't even give a damn if you write the chief of police, chief of activator, and tell him to terminate his relationship with the grandma and give his ass and do his job. Put that big bitch in zip ties and tie her up like in a hog style. I don't care. In the relationship, take her ass to jail. She's guilty. Everybody in the US of A, like President Trump said, whatever he is, all 50 states plus the other 50 states can write and let them know that we need her arrested. Everybody needs to do what they can do.
Exactly.
Daughter, we know God is riding, but God, we cannot wait on God to serve justice for Malia. We have to do it now because it's bad enough that the state, the parents, the grandparents, everybody in her family failed her. We as a community cannot fail her now. We have to seek justice.
I agree. Before we get out of here, the cases I'm about to read to you, all of these happened before Maleah Lynn Davis case. But when we don't seek justice for a case such as this, we leave the door open for other mothers and parents to do the same thing and sometimes get away with it, whether they get away with it or not. We have to get to a point to where we start exposing them and keep the pressure on the powers that be. In 2005, China Arnold from Daytona stuffed her 3-week-old daughter into a microwave oven and burned her to death. 2010, Shaquan Dooley, South Carolina, suffocated her 2 sons, 18 months old and 2 years old, with her bare hands in a motel room before strapping them into car seats and rolling them into a river. 2016, Kristen Clark in Pittsburgh smothered her 17-month-old son and sent disturbing videos to the father. And in a text message, here's what she said to the father. Sucks that it was so easy to kill my favorite, but your bitch of a daughter just won't stop breathing. Lungs must be strong as fuck. When we don't address these in aggressive matters, we leave the door open for things like this to continue to happen. Laws must be relooked at. Sentencing guidelines must be stretched for parents that do the unthinkable. And it must be made more easier in the beginning of an investigation to hold a parent at least 60 to 90 motherfucking days if you got an ounce of they might have done it to their very own child. We're making it too easy. The insanity please, we got to stop believing that goddamn shit. Because we can read books all day long and go on the internet and you're going to know what to say and what not to say and what to do and what not to do. And you're going to plead insanity. Sometimes you get off, you're going to get a lighter sentence. Things must be changed. It's just not enough to keep the stories out here. We got to start writing those that we put in office to take care of things like this. It is too easy for parents to kill their children and get away. I was depressed. Well, you weren't depressed when you had your goddamn pussy open, but now you're fucking depressed. It doesn't make any earthly goddamn sense. And if we ever got to the point to where Brittany Bowens told us exactly why she killed Maleah, I wouldn't give a fuck. Lock the bitch up. There's nothing you can say that will make me feel an ounce of pity for you, because you're not a mother. You're a monster in human form. You carried Maleah in your womb, but you did not carry Maleah in your heart. You are a poor excuse for a mother. I dare not ever call you that.
It's like when Maleah Davis passed away, it was a trend because what's his name, the little baby in California, Gabriel Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
When the parents killed him, then the cupcake baby. It was just like ever since Maleah's death had got public, everybody started killing these kids. Like for what? Like it just was a fucking trend every day. What's the little baby name? They got left under the couch. They looked at her parents. Her parents is in the same situation with Brittany dumbass. The grandmother, the mother, well, the father was in jail, but the stepfather, the mother, the grandmother left the Samaya. That's the big name, Samaya. She was put up under a couch, and they found her into remains. The house burned down, and found her under the couch. Then the Gabriel Fernandez story. It's like all of this has happened. As you know, after Brittany did this to Maleah. But my thing is, instead of killing Maleah, why he just didn't kill her? He probably wouldn't even went to jail.
That's it. That's it.
You know, y'all killing all these kids because y'all under pressure. Just like here in Houston, Texas. You know, they're saying that now because of the coronavirus, people losing jobs, they're getting stressed. There's more child abuse here in the city of Houston than ever before. Domestic violence, all of this is continuously going on. What's going to happen? The more all this abuse is going to lead to another child getting killed because they don't want to send the police to do their job. CPS is not doing their job.
Exactly.
Because, the coronavirus, we can't go in. Fuck coronavirus. Put a mask and some gloves on to go get the goddamn child.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because if the child died, then what you gonna say? Well, I wanted to know that you didn't want to do anything. You could have went and removed that child.
Exactly.
Despite coronavirus, that's why they have precautions. Put gloves, put a mask, put some goggles on, do something. Go get these kids so we can stop this vicious cycle. It's too many kids losing their lives.
I mean, and I can feel your pain. I do. I can feel it because mothers, especially, find it hard to believe stories like this because it's not something that a mother would even think about doing, but it does happen. And I'm glad you brought CPS back up. CPS must be investigated as well. Laws must be changed dealing with them. Procedures must be changed dealing with them. I think I don't give a damn where you get the money from. I don't give a damn. Put it like a sock. Whenever you are investigating a possible child abuse case or you're monitoring the situation after it's been investigated, there should be at least 2 investigators to go there whenever it's time to go and check on that child's welfare. Every CPS investigator must have on body cams because I need to know for sure that you really saw the child. I need to know that you were in the house. I don't need you to go pull to the side of the road and write a statement and say everything was fine because you and the suspect or whatever done got kind of tight there, or you just don't give a fuck and you just write down anything on government documents, which you are lying. Anytime CPS is called, the majority of the time it's legit. So that simply means one thing. It's a matter of life and death. So if Child Protection Services is not protecting, then we need to get another agency that will protect the children. It's just as simple as that. You going in there saying blase, blase, it don't mean a damn thing, especially in Houston, Texas. A while back, you all had at least 4 or 5 of them lose their job, stand inside of a courtroom for falsifying documents about a case. And one of those cases, 2 of them resulted in both kids being killed. One of those kids' name is Maleah Lynn Davis. We must make them.
Never forget her. Never forget Maleah Lynn Davis.
We must make them do their job. And we must get agencies to go behind them and inspect them to make sure they're doing their job. Parenting class, 30, 60, 90 days. That's just a bunch of goddamn motherfucking bullshit. You cannot teach someone how to be a parent or a better parent in 30, 60, or 90 fucking days. If it's not in your goddamn blood, it's just fucking not in your goddamn motherfucking blood. All that certificate says is that, here, judge, they completed this here, and now we can send them back and monitor. That piece of paper don't mean a goddamn thing. It doesn't. So that's bullshit. That's wasting time and fucking money. You know, you better get the goddamn right answers if you want your child back, and you possibly won't go to jail. So say what needs to be said, and then when you get the child, beat the shit out of her, bust her head wide open, and let her die. We have to change.
She needs to be spayed and neutered.
Exactly. She has to be. And Brittany Barnes, I'm sure you're listening. If you're not, somebody's on here to know. You're a dirty bitch. You are a monster in human form.
Brittany Barnes needs to be spayed and neutered. She don't need no more kids. She don't even need to babysit a dog.
Brittany Barnes is just a body without a soul. You're just a body without a soul. And for all of you that protect Brittany and speak up for Brittany, you're just as evil as she is. Don't forget, this live feed is on tonight because a 4-year-old girl from Houston, Texas was killed, was tortured, and was put in a black trash bag like she wasn't nothing but motherfucking garbage, and then discarded on the side of the road and helped fight for Maleah Davis. And in doing so, you're fighting for every other child in this country. Shit must get better. You must be the change that you are looking for. Before we get out of here, Brittany Barnes, there is absolutely positivity, unquestionable, no statute of limitations on murder. Jazz, I love you big time. I appreciate you coming on again tonight. I know sometime tomorrow we will talk to schedule some more events and stuff. You always come with very informative information to kind of help make some sense of this, and I'm glad you said yes again, and I greatly appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Okay, y'all, we got to get out. We got to get out of here. Let me leave you with this thought. When God got tired, that's when Maleah Davis finally got rest. As I opened, as she was being tortured, as she was trying to resist, and she was trying to scream as best she could, God looked down and said, Maleah, let's go. Don't fight. God got tired. Maleah Davis got rest. I love you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Y'all have a good night. Spitfire, Hot Pink, love you big time. Thank both of you for keeping law and order in the house. Her name is Maleah Davis. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Thank you so much.